Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our virtual back to school night. I'm Mr. Homer, Scott Homer, and I've been out sick for the last few days. And so rather than try and get through this presentation 5 times tonight, I'm going to just record it. It's the same information that I would have done all 5 times. And you can look at this at your leisure. Okay, let me just pull up our agenda for tonight. First off, again, welcome to back to school night. This is important, my email address, shomer@dosd.net. If you need to get a hold of me for anything, please get hold of me through my email. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. And I try to get back to all emails either that day, if I get the emails in the morning, or if I get them at night, I try to get back the very next day. I occasionally, an email will get buried into my inbox and I might forget or not see an email. So if I ever don't get back to you in a timely fashion, it just means that it slipped my mind or got buried, and I'm not trying to dodge anybody. So please, if I don't get back in a timely manner, just re-email me again and remind me that you emailed me. Okay, first off, real quickly through my background. I've been teaching for about 32 years total. 25 of those have been at Warren. I spent 5 years as a literacy worker in East Africa. I wasn't exactly teaching in the traditional sense, but it was still a teaching role. And I've had 10 plus years experience in honors. Don't exactly remember when I started that, but it's been 10, 12 years, something like that. And I love ninth grade. Ninth grade is my favorite grade to teach. I've taught all 4 grade levels, and ninth is just what I prefer. And the reason I let you know that is to let you know that I'm just really happy in what I'm doing in teaching ninth grade English. As far as a classroom environment, these are the things I try to produce on a daily basis. Number one is stress reducing. I know kids learn best when they are feeling comfortable, so I try to reduce the stress. I do that by using humor. Most of the time I'm only entertaining myself, not so much the kids, but over time they start to at least appreciate I'm trying. And so I try and use humor, and I also try and keep it very personable as well. I hope that I'm easy for the students to approach. I also like to create an environment where we learn for the sake of learning. I know that for kids and parents, grades are the number one issue, but someone's got to be, in charge for the learning part of it, and just the learning for the sake of learning. That's how we create lifelong learners. I like to encourage curiosity. So a lot of times if kids ask questions, I don't necessarily give them a direct answer to the question, but I'll ask them another one to try and stimulate some kind of curiosity so they figure things out for themselves. And it's interesting, especially with ninth graders, we are beginning the transition from being child learners to adult learners. And they've been child learners their whole lives. And now as growing young adults, we need to switch them over to being adult learners. And here are some of the characteristics of that. First off, self-directed versus adult-directed. Adult learners tend to be self-directed. They put themselves in learning environments for whatever personal reasons they have. They have a new skill that they want to learn. They want to get a better job. They want to get a promotion. Whatever that reason happens to be, is they choose their own educational settings. Whereas in school, it's really adult directed. Like we as teachers tell the kids what they need to do and what they need to learn. But the sooner that they can transition to being a little more self-directed, so that I don't have to bug them, you don't have to bug them to do their work, the better off they're going to be. And which is why we talk about moving to a greater independence. As soon as they can become independent learners, so that you're not having to remind them all the time, they're doing it for themselves. That's when we start to move towards being an adult learner. And then we as adults, teachers and parents, and this can be hard at times, we need to respect their growing intelligence. We need to realize that as they grow, they will need to become a little more autonomous in some of their choices. And as a result of being more autonomous in their choices, we need to allow them to face the consequences of their own choices and actions. So if they decide to stay up late, on social media or playing games instead of completing their homework, we need to allow them to face the consequences of that choice. I think it's way more important that students learn to face the consequences of their choices in school than later on when it really counts, like in the work world. And so if they run out of time because they were goofing around, then they need to come to school and face the consequences of either missing an assignment or getting late credit or whatever it happens to be. I know that we as parents and teachers, and I have 2 kids myself, we want to fix things for them. We want their experience to be good, but sometimes we need to just allow them to face the consequences of their own choices and their own actions for their own development. Okay, let's spend a little time with Canvas. All right, so just a couple of points is the way that I want kids to access their information is on the home page. Access everything from the home page. And I'll show you a picture of that here in just a moment. The benefits to that are Canvas is always available. Even if they are working late at night or after hours or whatever it happens to be, Canvas is there so that they can look up their work. Oftentimes, I'll post directions or instructional videos as well, and they will always have access to that. Okay, and then students can email me via Canvas. If they just go to the inbox and they email me, it actually goes to my Canvas box and my normal school box at shomer@dosd.net. So I see it both places. Let me show you what our Canvas homepage looks like. Now, this is for second period, but the same type of stuff is true for all my classes. All right, we organize things according to what are called modules. So everything here in this big box is a module, and the one we're currently working on is ERWC1 Hip Hop Planet. And I post the assignments and whatever directions they may have according to the day of the week. And so you can scroll through the module and see what we've done. Now let me go to today, Wednesday's assignment, just so you have an idea on what a specific day looks like. Okay, so first off, I've got the day and the date. And then on this particular day today, I had an instructional video. Since I'm at home, excuse me, since I'm at home and not at school, I posted a video. So if they click on that, it will come to this YouTube video link, and I'm not going to show you that, but they can click on that link and get the instructions for the day. Okay, going back to the home page. And then all of my assignments, I try to put this heading assignment. Occasionally it slips my mind, but not very often. So it will say assignment : and then it will give the title of the assignment. And underneath will be a due date and the point value as well. So they click on that. Okay, this opens up and it will have some directions, and the directions are open the document and follow all directions. So then they go to this blue paper clip, that's the attachment. Click on that, then the link comes up. And then the document that they are working on today is here with whatever directions that I have. Now, this particular assignment, we've been working on this for a while. Last week, we did activity 15A where they wrote a summary. And then on Friday and Tuesday in class, we wrote the response portion of this letter. So by the time they do the essay tonight or today in class and then finishing for tonight, they should basically be already done with it. And they can copy and paste their past work into this space below, do any kind of final editing, grammar and spell check it, etc., and then submit it to me by hitting the submit button. Okay, so that's basically what it looks like on a daily basis. And let's go back to our home page. Now, one thing I want to point out, since we are doing a lot of in-class assignments as well that won't necessarily be computer-based, those assignments I title in-class assignment. Now, here's why this is important. If you go to the assignment tab on Canvas, only the assignments come up that I have designated as an assignment through Canvas. Notice how none of these say in-class assignments. Now, for an in-class assignment, there's still an expectation that work is being done, but they will either do it on paper or in a booklet or some other type of activity. And so this will give directions for that. The reason I mention this is because a lot of times students will go to the assignment tab only. They'll ignore the homepage and they'll do the assignments that are there. But if they did that, they would miss the in-class assignment, which is why I always say, make sure you look at the homepage every single day. Okay, if you have any further questions about Canvas, of course, you can you can email me, and I'm happy to respond to your emails. Okay, let's go back to our agenda for today. All right, let's talk about makeup work and late work. Okay, most assignments have a due date, but then they have a late window that stays open for a short amount of time. And if they miss the original due date, they can still turn it in during that late window for a partial credit. But after the window closes, I'm not going to be going back and opening up late work. Anyone who misses the window periodically throughout the quarter, I will post makeup projects that must be completed. So instead of going back and doing one random assignment 3 weeks after we've already switched to another unit, I just find that that's not really very beneficial. So we are doing makeup projects. So whatever points they are missing, they can make up all or a portion of those points by doing these makeup projects. I think one of the worst habits that we get into is taking partially finished work as a completed assignment. Nowhere else in life can you turn in a half-done assignment and get half credit for. If you do half your work at your work, your boss is going to let you go. If you ask your kids to clean the kitchen and they do half of it, you're not going to give them credit for that either. So why do we as teachers give partial credit for incomplete work? They're only going to get credit for completed work. And if they are missing points, they're going to have to do these makeup projects. So far, I have not posted one yet, but because of our grading cycle, progress reports going home soon, I will be providing a makeup project soon. I probably would have done it this week already, but I have been homesick this week. Okay, if you have any questions on that, of course, you can email me, but more importantly, have your students email me. Okay, if kids are having any tech issues this year, excuse me, there's actually student tech available in the library. So this is a tech person that the school has hired to meet specifically with students, and it is in the library building. And so students can go to the library and get any tech help they need if there's a problem with their computers or anything like that. Okay, let's, excuse me, move to communication. I believe strongly that students should own the communication process. In other words, I encourage them to communicate with me rather than parents communicate with me, because I want them to learn to be proactive and to take care of problems when they're small. If students are having a problem with an assignment or something late has come up, anything, I want them to take initiative and come talk to me. And at that point, we can almost always find a solution. It's way easier to take care of problems when they're recent and when they're small, but once they let them build over time, that's when it becomes difficult. Now, I think parents need to contact teachers when necessary for whatever reason. Kids can't contact the teacher or they're really sick or whatever it happens to be. So that is fine. But I think that we need to train our students to be proactive and take initiative and contact their teachers. So student ownership of communication is first, parents when necessary, and then of course always be persistent. Students need to be persistent. They get discouraged very easily if they don't get immediate results on something, but they need to learn to be persistent, especially when it's important. And then finally, curriculum. The whole basis of our core value for our curriculum is to teach critical thinking skills. I love this definition of critical thinking, and so I'm going to read it, and this is what I think is important. Critical thinking is that mode of thinking about any subject, content, or problem in which the thinker improves the quality of his or her thinking by skillfully analyzing, assessing, and reconstructing it. Critical thinking is self-directed, self-disciplined, self-monitored, and self-corrective thinking. So you can look over that, slowly just to really digest it, but that's what I think is important with critical thinking. Okay, as far as the specifics of our curriculum, the assignment that we're completing this week, the ERWC Module 1, we do one of those per quarter. We do other types of writing assignments, including essays, a research project, creative writing. The literature that we do by quarter is quarter 1 is short stories, quarter 2 is a lot of different things, but we'll do a little bit of mythology, poetry, probably some miscellaneous short stories in there. Quarter 3, we'll do a novel. For honors, we do A Tale of Two Cities. And for college prep, we do Of Mice and Men. And then the main literature we do in quarter 4 is Romeo and Juliet. Okay, I know this was a quick presentation. I'm going to keep it posted for at least a few days so you can go back and look at it. And again, I thank you for coming out tonight. And I've enjoyed the school year so far with all of your kids. And so I hope that it continues to be a good year. All right, thanks a lot.